Hello beautiful friends, welcome back to my channel. This is Charlotte with Happy Souls 1111. Okay, I know I haven't done one of these for ages, but the energies are so crazy and so intense right now for everybody that we need to have a look at what's going on, right? So I'm going to do a collective energy update for the Divine Masculine and the Divine Feminine. I'm just going to shift these decks around. Which one should we use? Use three. Okay. I'm going to look at the energies, the masculine energies and the feminine energies, because we're navigating a really difficult period at the moment. There's like a collective shift within the feminine energies for sure, that's just tired. This is all I'm hearing. The finger is on the trigger. So many are just getting tired and giving up or feeling like they need to give up. Now, I had a really interesting reading of my own with K-Moon. If you haven't checked her out, please go and do so. You can find her in my featured channels list when you explore my channel. If you can't find that, I will include a link in the description box for her as well, because she's fabulous. But K-Moon is a twin flame astrologer, and she has been posting fabulous videos about the collective shifts astrologically. It's well worth catching up. But when she did my personal reading, she was talking about Lilith specifically. And Lilith, I'm not going to go into massive detail. You can Google her and really get a feel for the story, because I can never share it as eloquently as K-Moon did with me. I need to do more research. But the mood, the energy of Lilith is one of strong feminine independence, okay? For me, it stood out as the divine feminine runner of just saying, no, it's all or nothing. Done. I'm tired. And I also want to talk to you about surrender and unconditional love, but I just know that's going to come up in the reading, so I'm going to save it. Right, so let's pull some cards here. So we're going to start with the Divine Feminine energies on the left. I'm going to pull all the cards at once. This is a new deck, the Way of the Panda. I love it. Right, so Divine Feminine. In fact, I'm going to use the Twin Tarot Oracle, which was a gift from Lauren, to pull a significator for each pile. Thank you, Lauren. I love it when you guys send me cards. It's like Christmas all came at once. It's my favourite thing, and it encourages me to do more readings, because I just have to show them to you guys. Hint, hint. If you ever want to send me tarot cards, there is an Amazon wish list in the description box below. But these are called the Twin Tarot Oracle. They're not necessarily twin flamey. It's just the major arcana, but there's a light and dark attribute. So there's 42 cards. The major arcana twice, one light, one dark. So we're going to pull one of these as a significator for each of the masculine and feminine energies. And thank you, Lauren, for these beautiful cards. All right. Feminine. The light attribute of justice. And for the masculine, the light hierophant. So we've got karma or justice, balance, harmony, and change. Learning, connection to spirit. This is the hierophants, number 5, the number of transition and change. Okay, we'll go more into those cards when I've pulled the others. So feminine energies. Where is she at right now? Queen of Wands reversed. 9 of Wands upright. And obviously I do say he and she, but of course Divine Feminine and Masculine are interchangeable. It's not gender focused, so I just use he or she for the state of it being fairly simple and straightforward. Now I think I'm going to use a different deck for the masculine energies. That feels like a good thing to do. I'm going to take one more. I want to make this quite a nice reading. Do you know what? I've just had a horrible feeling that I didn't press record. Of course I did. Okay. Let's get the Persephone. think we were meant to keep them. We only want, we'll keep all 5. And that one wanted to be at the front. Okay, 8 of Swords, 2 of Wands, Queen of Cups reversed, 4 of Cups and King of Pentacles. For the Divine Feminine, we've got Queen of Wands reversed, 9 of Wands, 2 of Swords reversed, and also the Queen of Pentacles. Wow. That's mad. I've been doing readings for my students just to have a catch up with them and see where they're at on their journey, and the Queen of Pentacles came out for both of the readings I did today. It's very interesting. I'm telling you, there's a powerful shift. Right, I need one for the middle. So connecting energies, we're going to use the Holy Simple Tarot. The Ace of Wands reversed. Current energies. Wow. Okay, so let's start with feminine energies on the left. Justice, the card of karma, number 11. Balance, harmony, fairness, justice, judgment. But this is the light version of the card, the well-aspected justice. It's a very serene image. This beautiful Cleopatra. She's got her staff. Everything's in perfect balance and harmony. So I feel like, you know, there's a final push happening now. This feels like a resolution of karma. Look, she's got the Ankh, that symbol of divine feminine power. This is a very strong energy. This is a lot of power being raised. But it's also karma. So, you know, it can be very, very intense. Very intense. With the Queen of Wands reversed as well, this is someone who's not balanced in their spiritual power, in their spiritual energy. You know, this is a distorted spiritual energy. But there's also, with the 9 of Wands, beautiful determination here. And I'm really guided to the blue and yellow in this card. This also came up in one of the Divine Feminine readings I did this week. You know, blue and yellow are the colour of being triggered and integrating truth in the twin journey. So this is a rough ride for you right now. You're being triggered hard and you're downloading truth at a massive pace. And with this 2 of Swords, this is creating massive, massive indecision and confusion. And this card also came out in the Divine Feminine readings I've done. This is absolutely mad, I swear. And they're reading or writing, surrounded by feathers. And there's a feather in the crown, which is, a symbol of hope in spirit. But swords are mental energy. They relate to the mental body. And this person isn't, balanced or in harmony with the spiritual aspects of this journey right now. No wonder with, karma's coming to a conclusion, big truth triggers. So with this Queen of Pentacles energy, this is really beautiful. Again, this has come up, the King of Pentacles here. And this is about grounding these new truths. It's about grounding them in the current reality. So all of this happening at once, with it cycling towards this resolution of karma and, this perfect harmonious balance and divine feminine power. The journey there at the moment is somewhat rocky. But it's about grounding it. And this message has come through so powerfully for so many different divine feminines that I've read for independently. Same cards, same message. You need to integrate this truth now and ground it in your present. You've done so much healing. You've worked so hard. But there's always going to be a bit more, and you've got to cycle through it and push. But, you're almost at a stage of really having done the brunt of it. So this is like not giving up your independence as well. Being focused on your own healings. Nines mirror the hermit, that hermit energy, that self-contained, working on the inner self, focused on self. So definitely this runner energy. The fingers on the trigger. Upright, that Queen of Wands is taking massive action. Racing forward. That's what fire energy is. It's fast and quick. But in reverse, she's distorted. She's not in balance. And perhaps that's where she needs to be, if the finger's on the trigger. Not racing forward with action. Not giving up on your own journey. But perhaps giving up on the masculine is what I'm feeling at the moment. Because, all of these cards, bar one, are very independent energies. And apart from this one, which features a mother and baby panda, and of course the Queen of Pentacles is like, the epitome of the perfect wife and mother. She's very loving, maternal, stable, balanced, abundant. She's got her material world now down. She loves that stability and security. But she's working with a child here, and I'm really guided this represents the inner child. So even though, it doesn't speak of independence, this is about nurturing the inner child. Not giving up on your healing now. Integrate, responding to these triggers, acknowledging the truth of them. Because now might feel really hard. Because we only get that urge to run when, it's not feeling good anymore. But you're being shown how to heal. It doesn't feel good because you're being triggered and shown what is left to heal. And this is inner child stuff. This is stuff that goes way, way back. Let's pull some more. In fact, let's do the masculine first. So we've got Eight of Swords, which is, and remember this is a card that wanted to come out first, and this is being completely trapped by one's own self-limiting negative beliefs, their own self-created thought forms on a repetitive cycle, trapping them mentally from moving forward. And this is such an interesting image in this card. You've got this eye, okay, the all-seeing eye. It's got two swords, representing at least some kind of balance and harmony here. There's three hands reaching up to it. 3 is the number of divine feminine energy, Empress energy. And the remaining 4 swords, which is the number of the Emperor, of divine masculine energy, balance and harmony, create this stable base. Now, this really coincides with what I learned about the grids, the crystal, the twin flame crystal grid, or twin flame template, for whatever you want to call it. I talked about this in my last video, so if you're not following, you might want to go and watch that video first. But the masculine grid is static. It lies beneath the divine feminine collective grid, and they are already connected. It's literally static, stable, very grounded in the 3D, and is made up of multiple linear symmetrical channels. The divine feminine collective grid is pockets, multiple groups of these shoals of fish, which are actually lights, so shoals of light that move together. And when the strongest in that group moves towards union energies, and it's pulling, being magnetized down towards this grid where the divine masculine is already stable and grounded. And I'm not saying their energy is stable and grounded, but their grid is. It pulls the rest of the collective down with it. Once a divine feminine fully surrenders and comes into union with self, she anchors that energy for the group within the grid. So there's many waves, and these waves are individual shoals And like attracts like. So where you're at in your journey will determine which shoal of light you are drawn to and connected to and moving along your journey with. So this is why this is so interesting, because the masculine energy here forms the grounding, the stable base. The divine feminine reaches up to the light, to awakening. Sorry, there's 2 swords behind here. There's actually 4 swords here. So we have the Emperor energy reflected on both sides, with this divine feminine energy at its center reaching up for the truth, which is contained within the all-seeing eye. It's an incredibly powerful card. I've never looked at it in this context because I didn't understand the good stuff until last week. So, you know, it may look like the masculine is trapped, but what I'm feeling is he's trapped because we've not reached him yet. We've not moved our collective soul energy and anchored it in the grid. And remember, the divine feminine is a torchbearer. She lights the path so that the masculine can begin to heal. So until we've touched the eye, we're not allowing the masculine to move forward in his journey, to take the baton and continue. So he's not just trapped by his own negative self-beliefs. Those beliefs are part of his 3D programming and conditioning, but he's going to struggle to release them whilst the divine feminine is still holding that low vibrational energy and mirroring it back at him. She has to release it in herself because, you know, we're triggering each other, and we have to work through those triggers until it becomes less intense and manageable. Union can't happen when you're both in that state of intense energetic flux. You know, I talked in another video about it being the water. When the water is choppy and raging, you know, that's going to create separation in the connection because the magnets are repelling one another. You have to come into balance energetically, and then you're magnetized back to one another, and that energy is anchored in the grid, and then healing can take place to the masculine. But you have to be safely and healthily detached and both attached at the same time, which is the real challenge. Because when you come close, you want something. You know, when you're away and you're doing your own thing, you can begin to manage at a distance to stay in a place of surrender. But the minute those energies come back in, you get triggered. As you move towards union energies, you get triggered and pushed back again. So the journey becomes like this. That last leg of the journey, post-surrender, you know, you're like, woo, I'm surrendered, bang. Oh God, I got triggered again. Oh, this feels great. I'm feeling good again. Oh, no. And you're inching closer each time. But, you know, if you want to know why he's running, because you're not healing, it's really that simple. And I don't say that to shame you or to guilt trip you. I say it because it's the reality. He's also got 2 of Wands though. Let's move on to him. Sorry, I massively digress. This is such an interesting reading today. Crazy downloads even as I go. He's in this Hierophant energy. This is so changeable. You know, 5 is the number of transition, but this is a peaceful transition. We've got light attributes of both of these significators. You know, this suggests that if only we can be still, this journey need not be as rough. It's us that whips up the storm. And so he's trapped, but in part, you know, he's waiting. He's waiting to be able to move forward. Right now he can't. He can't connect with this eye. He doesn't understand it. He's so trapped by his 3D ego self, the mental body. This is such an interesting 2 of Wands though for the energies they're in, because, you know, the 2 of Wands is so decisive, and there's an eye in this one. So for me, I'm getting an eye on the connection and, you know, decisive about it. And we've got the Queen of Cups here as well in reverse. So this can be read one of 2 ways. This is Cancer energy and it's in reverse. So as the energy they're resting in, it's potentially, very overwhelmed emotion, because the Queen of Cups upright, she's pretty emotional anyway, and she really lets it flow, but in a very beautiful, high vibrational way. But when that cup is turned upside down and that energy rushes out, it can be very intense. And the negatively aspected or ill-dignified Cancerian, is overly emotional and has no control or restraint and can be very emotionally manipulative. So as an energy they're sitting in, it could be that this is how they're feeling, like they just, full of resentment, frustration, trying to control things using emotional triggers. But courts can also represent people. And as a queen that contradicts the Pentacles and the Queen and King of Pentacles, the partnership here, this could also pertain to a karmic. So if there's a karmic relationship or in your masculine's energy with Cancerian energy, that can also indicate some kind of ending reference to that. The Four of Cups, though, is very self-absorbed and very, very contained. I mean, in this card as well, you can see he's under this dark cloud, really sulking and sad. And one of the cups is flowing out, but mostly everything is being ignored. The Four of Cups is really dwelling, being the kind of introverted sort of hermit energy that isn't healthy. In some decks, this card is depicted as Narcissus. So, in an ill-dignified way, it's I guess when you're really depressed, it can appear as narcissism because it's a very apathetic energy. So, it's that feeling of, well, I just don't care about anything, and that can come across as very narcissistic. So definitely a very painful energy in the masculine collective right now. But this King of Pentacles, much like the Queen, is so positive. This is about at least embracing the possibility of change. And he's holding this horn here. This is about really making a sound about it. But King is a very slow, King of Pentacles, is very slow moving energy. He doesn't make any rash decisions. But this is, a very hopeful card to come up in relation to the energies that they're in, masculines. And of course, with both cards coming out, remember this was the fifth card that wasn't meant to be there. This was the extra one that flew out. When you bring the Queen and King of Pentacles together, for me, that's very, very powerful. It's very, very powerful. Two people that want abundance and want to be stable, secure, grounded, balanced, safe and comfortable. They desperately want to let go of codependency and self-worth and all the painful stuff that comes up. They just want to be grounded and balanced and enjoying their present. It's beautiful. The connecting energy is the Ace of Wands reversed. So for many of you, you may find that your astral connections have been compromised, that don't feel very connected to your twin, which, really puts pressure on this feeling of being triggered to block and run. It's also, Wands is fire and spiritual energy. I mean, she's still holding it, but it's distorted like that Queen of Wands. So, the energies really are intense right now. The waters are very choppy, but it's really reassuring to have these light attributes of these two cards, which show transition and change, forward movement, and, karmic resolution for the feminine. So let's see what we need to do to move forward for the highest good. Wow, so we've got Judgment out first, the Divine Feminine. Okay, they keep choosing themselves today. Four of Wands reversed, Ace of Pentacles, the Hierophant reversed, and the King of Pentacles. Oh my God, that's crazy. That is absolutely crazy. Okay, let's get them out for the masculine. Wow. Five of Pentacles, Temperance reversed, Eight of Pentacles reversed, and the Nine of Cups. Let's grab the Holy Simple Tarot to get a connecting energy. The Ten of Wands reversed. Ten of Wands reversed. Okay. So what do we need to do to move forward for the highest good? This is a collective message. This is for all of us, me included. Judgment was the first card out. Major Arcana, the card of awakening. And I love Judgment in this deck. It's so gorgeous. You've got this panda, you know, showing us that awakening doesn't have to be painful. There's dragonflies here, and this is pink, yellow, orange colours. We've got blue, purple, and a bit of green. So this is spiritual integration, triggers and enthusiasm, spiritual power and change, knowing truth. And the dragonfly skims the surface of water, water being the emotional body. Okay, you're being asked to connect with spirit, to wake up, to rebalance the distorted divine feminine energy, and to come fully into bloom, to embrace the winds of change and this call, and enjoy the peace and joy of it. The Four of Wands asks you to stop worrying about union, to stop focusing on it. It's, you know, this isn't the point of this journey. It's about coming into union with yourself. Look how happy that bear is. No one but the dragonfly is the company. Self-satisfied, self-sufficient. You don't need to focus on the journey. This is a beautiful, new, independent start for one. Okay? And this card to come up is powerful. The Hierophant in reverse, but look at this card. Pressure coming in one ear, colour coming out the other. The Hierophant, which was the significator for your masculine energies, and we've also got the King of Pentacles here. But for you, the Hierophant is in reverse, followed by the King of Pentacles. So you're not listening. You're not listening. You're not embracing the change. And what the change asks of you is not to run, but to be balanced and stable and awake and aligned, so that you can allow communication unconditionally, so that you can now allow, you know, you can allow the connection without pain. It's so interesting that these two cards have come up. You know, to allow each of you to lovingly allow their journey and your journey. This is about you and it's about them. It doesn't need to be about your connection right now. You need to focus on yourself. not the connection. Let them lovingly focus on themselves. But you can still have a connection without running. It exists regardless of what's happening in the 3D. And when you're inwardly running, you don't have to be physically, you might not have blocked them, but when you're inwardly running, the energies are distorted, the seas are choppy, and everything is out of balance. So this is about bringing it all back into balance and connecting with this transitional change that's being presented to you. You're ready to ascend. For the masculine, we've got the 5 of Pentacles, which is about facing rejection triggers. You know, really digging deep. There's an interesting way to see it in this card. Normally it shows 2 people locked outside of a church and they're impoverished and desperate. In this card we see this woman and a statue. So there's a divine feminine connection to this trigger of rejection, pain, fear of abandonment, feeling left out in the cold. This is something that you're probably being triggered, if you're a masculine, by your feminine to face these wounds, and you need to face them. You need to bring it back into balance. And you need to work. We've got the 8 of Pentacles in reverse, you know, but this is inner work. It is saying, you know, because this 9 is a progression from the 8, but the 8 is a very grounded earthly energy. The 8 of Pentacles is about the work we do physically and literally, you know, tangible, productive work. But that's not what you're being asked to do here. This is an inside job of healing. You're being asked to heal your emotional body so that you can have this self-satisfaction of just being in your emotions, you know. And this is about understanding that emotional satisfaction isn't gleaned from all of the others necessarily. It can exist independently. You don't have to have the 9 of Pentacles to have the 9 of Cups. You know, the guy in the 9 of Cups is self-satisfied, self-sufficient. He's so happy. He's celebrating life. He feels emotionally gifted and blessed and rich in love in his life. His heart feels full. He is, you know, wealthy of heart. In the 9 of Pentacles, that's, you know, wealthy in practical terms, but one can exist without the other. So you need to release this pressure as well for the 3D work dynamic, if that's been triggering self-worth issues also. The connecting energy here is the 10 of Wands reversed, and that's asking you to take the pressure off both of you, because upright, the 10 of Wands is about, you know, I need to take these out, carrying that big weight up the mountain, feeling so burdened and under so much pressure to reach a conclusion, to reach the goal. And reverse, this is saying to me that you don't need to put that level of pressure on yourself. Your goal is to enjoy the journey. And if you're not enjoying it, make adjustments so that you are. There's no right or wrong way to move forward except what feels good. There needs to be no other justification other than you do exactly what feels good to you. You know, and that you feel a degree of calmness and stillness and joy when you move your attention, focus, intentions and actions in the direction of what feels good. That's about coming into alignment with your true path. Trust that good feeling will lead you. You don't need to put pressure on yourself. It's unfolding exactly as it's supposed to. Yeah, there's no right or wrong way other than what feels good. I'm going to pull a few more oracle cards. If you guys haven't joined my Facebook group yet, head on over there. It's a support group for twins, divine feminines, or masculines. You're all welcome. And also, I've just announced new classes for my mediumship for beginners class for November, new date, sorry. And also for the twin energy healing class. I will be adding more SRT classes. We've got 3 classes live at the moment, which are really exciting. It's a really beautiful community, my student community. Now that there's quite a lot of us, to see everyone learning together, because even after the classes we continue working together. So there's like a big circle now. I think there's about 40 of us that continue learning together, and I'm now learning from them myself. Once people are connected to their guides, the guides are the teachers. I'm not the teacher in these classes, my guides are. So once everyone else is connected to their guides, I learn from their guides too. It's very exciting. We've channeled some really cool stuff together. Anyway, I digress. Let's pull some oracle cards quickly. What do you need to focus on in your healing? These have come out. There's 4. I'm going to take 2 for each side. They're both light attribute for the feminine energy. Spotlights your positive, seductive qualities and transcending convention, stuffiness, and predictable behaviour. Don Juan and the Trickster. So this is definitely about really stepping into your divine feminine, seductive qualities. This is a really big sacral energy. This is powerful. Allowing yourself to flirt and to be more light-hearted, to release your inhibitions somewhat and try and let the energy flow in a more passionate and romantic way if you feel inclined, but keep it light-hearted. The shadow attributes of these cards are using the power of romantic attraction for private agendas, i.e., trying to tempt your divine masculine because you want a specific result from him rather than because it just feels funny, light-hearted and right in the moment. There's a difference between being authentic and manipulative. And if you're doing something to get a specific response, that's manipulative. That's the shadow attribute of this card. So, the light attribute spotlights your positive, seductive qualities, which is being yourself, being authentic in the moment. You can be flirty and fun and light-hearted, but do it because the moment calls for it and not because you've plotted something that's going to get a specific result for you. The shadow attribute of the trickster energy is manipulating others through duplicity. And the light attribute is transcending convention, stuffiness, and predictable behaviour. So these have both come up in the upright. So you shouldn't be struggling to embody these energies. But there's a little red flag here and a warning, just in case you need to check yourself. That, you don't want to be manipulating anybody. Energy doesn't lie. So the energy of those actions which don't come from a place of unconditional love and integrity are just distorting your energy. They're making the waters choppy. Energy doesn't lie. No one else might know how sneaky you're being, but energy does. You can't trick energy. So you're only slowing your own journey down. For the masculine, the light attributes, we've got bully and alchemist. Light attributes highlights your tendency to intimidate others and helps you confront the inner fears that bully you. So, this is all about being aware of, I think this really mirrors this Five of Cups energy of not understanding how your apathy and lack of interest can be perceived. But also, it says here quite clearly, helps you confront the inner fears that bully you. And that's the 8 of Swords energy. That ongoing dialogue in your head that tells you you're not good enough. The alchemist light attribute is transformation of base motives and goals into golden wisdom. So that's really beautiful. This is magician energy. This is reminding you that you can have that King of Pentacles stuff. Yeah, you've just got to change your motives and goals and then trust that once you've made a decision and you have faith in that decision, you don't need to know how to reach that goal yet. You just need to decide. And once you've done that and you have faith that you can figure it out as you go and you're going to get there, the universe will line up to create and manifest that for you. The shadow attribute here is misuse of the power and knowledge that come through spiritual practice. So, you know, this is very sneaky energy like that one. And this is why I've stopped doing a lot of the readings that I was doing. You know, it's a little bit nosy and invasive to be constantly asking what's happening in your divine masculine's connection with his karmic, or, you know, how he's feeling about you. If you can't sense through your connection how he's feeling, then you need to go within and figure it out. You know, being nosy, because spirit knows what it should show you and what's in your highest good. And we could argue that comes through the cards too. Pardon me, but those kind of readings become very addictive. And, you know, the misuse of power and knowledge that come through spiritual practice, that would also suggest, you know, this is advice to the masculine, so they need to be clear about that too. I've got a really bad cough, by the way. I apologise for my interruption there. Shadow attribute conceals deep fears behind verbal or physical abuse. Pardon me, and a blue card while my throat's going. So be mindful of that. You know, do your words, your spiteful words that you've unleashed come from a place of deep fear that is unrelated to whoever you're projecting it to. You need to be mindful of that. So I really hope this reading has helped for you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. As always, if you'd like a private reading with me, you can find me at happysouls1111.com. I'm on Instagram by the same name, happysouls1111. And thank you so much. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for liking. Thank you for commenting. Please let me know down below what you think. Lots of love. Bye.